Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos honor fallen heroes on Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Lagos holds mental health conference, and LASTMA team up with Lagos Traffic Radio to strategize better commuting in the state. We kick off the show with the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, where Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu again assured the military of prioritizing their welfare and rendering more support to families of the fallen heroes. Let's take a look.
The 15th of January, a date set aside to celebrate fallen heroes who sacrificed their lives in defense of Nigeria's security and unity. At 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the tradition is the same. Officers of the Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force and veterans in the Nigerian Legion march in a memorial procession to honor fallen ex-servicemen at the Remembrance Arcade, Tafawa Balewa Square in Onikon, Lagos.
Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu arrives at the venue and inspects the guard of honor.
Level officers, 96 men and a detachment of Nigerian Legion on parade, ready for your inspection. Your Excellency.
Don't check me. Don't check me.
He then proceeds to lay the wreath. Followed by his deputy, Kadri Hamzat. Representative of the Chief Judge of Lagos, Justice Toyin Oyekon Abdullahi. The Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, and the Nigeria Police. A 21-gun salute to honor the valor of the departed service personnel. Governor Sanwo-Olu says the sacrifice made by the fallen heroes will never be forgotten because it marks the symbol of the nation's unity. He promises to continue to cater for the welfare of the departed soldiers.
And will continue to offer a very, very deep remembrance to these following heroes to say that their efforts were not in vain. And so these are things that it's a very simple but very important military activity that is statutory, and we must continue to support them in that. But going beyond that is to say that our government in particular have been partner in progress with the military, especially also spouses of serving and retired officers. We have designed a means of ensuring that our Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Ministry, and our Wealth Creation Ministry ensure that each of their interventions, they try and push some components to either the wives of serving men or the fallen heroes. And we usually relate with them to ensure that we get numbers from them where we can support them and help them with a few of the skills that they require for them to get back, to life. And of course, the Nigerian legend, we continue to support them. They were with me the other day, where a cash donation of 50 million was also, pledged to be given to them. And you also know that the state government has over 5,000 of them in employment in one form or the other that are legends, that are used as security officers in our schools, in our hospitals, and some of our public institutions. And to begin to see that we had not abandoned them, we'll continue, to see how they will help, the ones that are retired, and we'll continue to look for support for especially the spouses of the ones that are falling. For us at the state level, we see them as our citizens, we see them as part of our government, we see them as people that we have responsibility for. And part of the encouragement is that even when I went to the barracks last week, we actually said that even in their schools, we're coming to provide for them, internet access, computers, and things that can ensure that we come into their barracks and support them directly in areas in which they want government, to be of assistance to them. And so we continue to work with them in security formation, intelligence, and continue to ensure that Lagos remains safe. They've been a major component, of our security architecture, and we'll continue to, ask them to continue to do that for us.
The State Commissioner for Home Affairs also seeks more support for the military from the private sector.
I don't want us to see it as a government responsibility alone. Everybody, private entity, we can support what the government is doing so that the life of those families they left behind will be better than this.
The Nigerian Legion expressed their gratitude and make more demands from the government.
We are taking care of them from time to time. And when they bring this money again, we will divide for them. I'm still encouraging Lagos State government to encourage the area, the state, the local governments in the state, the 7 local governments in the state, to be accommodating Legion members and taking care of them and helping them with some allowances.
Moments later, the governor released the white pigeons as a symbol of peace and harmony.
See this guy now, this guy they block me too. Okay, open.
That's not all. The Nigerian Army Cantonment in Victoria Island, the General Officer Commanding 81 Division, Lawrence Fejoku, presents 2 vehicles to newly promoted Army warrant officers as donated by the Chief of Army Staff to boost their morale.
The welfare of those that are alive has never been a thing, or it's a serious matter to the Army High Command. And in addition to issues like vehicles that you're seeing, so many other things that touches on the lives of us who are in service. are put in place. And the Chief of Army Staff continues to make good his promise. What you are seeing here is a presentation of vehicles to those who were recently elevated to the rank of Army Warrant Officer. They are entitled to these vehicles, and the Chief of Army Staff provided it, and we are handing over to them on an auspicious day like this.
This yearly activity shows that those who fought the civil war and the military officers still on the battlefield are well appreciated and will not be forgotten in the history of Nigeria.
We now move on to health and talk about the Lagos State Mental Health Conference, where the state government is seeking more partnership to help improve mental health services to those already affected with such ailment.
The absence of good mental health is often related to depression, anxiety disorders, autism, eating disorders, learning disorders, schizophrenia, amongst other disorders. Data by the World Health Organization shows that 1 in 4 Nigerians, that's an average of 50 million people, suffer from mental illness and related disorders. In Lagos State, latest reports from the Ministry of Health shows that out of all mental health issues, more cases of depression were reported, which stands at 5.5%, with post-COVID disorders at 15.8% in the year 2021.
Members of the State Executive Council are here.
In reducing the growing figure, the state government is holding a mental health conference tagged Responding to the Mental Health Needs of a 21st Century Megacity. The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Kadri Hamzat, Head of Service, Akeem Muriokola, the Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, who also doubles as the Deputy Incident Commander of the state, and other practitioners in the health sector, all gathered at the landmark event center to be part of the conference.
So we're very proud of this facility. We hope
Professor Abayomi highlights areas where mental health has increased amongst residents with emphasis on drug abuse.
in 2018, there has been a significant shift in mentally associated aberrations as a result, perhaps directly related to COVID, but there could be multiple explanations for that. But the change in the data and the parameters is worrying. And it shows, for example, that mood disorders have gone up from 3.3% to almost 10%. Anxiety has trebled. And substance abuse has gone up from about 4% to about 14%. When we look at the summary findings of the collective studies across Africa in 2021, which is just a few months ago, we can see that depression, anxiety, hypochondriac disorders, alcoholic disorders, manifest disability, and psychoactive substance abuse have significantly gone up. In terms of human resources, you can see quite clearly that there is a serious deficit in the amount of human resources that are specialized in the management of mental health. And there you can see we only have about 18 medically qualified psychiatrists in Lagos, and we have just under 200 clinical psychologists, which means that when you put all these parameters together, we have one mental health bed for 1.5 million people. We have one psychiatrist for 6 million, and we have an estimated treatment gap of about 85%. That tells us that we have a lot of work to do in the state. In our general hospitals, we're moving from 5 general hospitals to 10 general hospitals that have the capability to deal with more severe mental health disorders. And we have a 40-bed facility at LASTMA, our tertiary academic facility. And the good news is that this dispensation are building the largest mental health facility in Nigeria, a 500-bed state-of-the-art psychiatric hospital at Ketu Ejiri.
Those in the health sector seek more investment and the establishment of mental health institutions in dealing with such cases.
When we say governance structure for mental health system, we are looking at the mental health policy and mental health legislation. These two are very, very critical to ensure sustainable mental health programs that will address local mental health issues of the community. They are also very important in ensuring sustainable funding and sustainable universal access to effective, affordable, quality, non-stigmatizing or discriminating mental health care for the population. We all know today, modernity has dictated that integration is the best way, is the way forward to ensure that everybody enjoys mental health care service. And Lagos State is doing it, and we are happy with that. However, I have one prayer for Lagos State government. We appreciate the 500-bed quality mental health hospital you want to build. But please, we want you to label it as an institute for mental health. An institute for mental health that will be responsible for research, will be a hub for research in mental health in Nigeria. That will be a hub for training of mental health professionals, not only psychiatrists, across. That will also provide support for all other mental health care delivering institutions.
Mental health is an issue, and we tend to very much underestimate it. And that's why, as a state, based on our culture of continuity of governance, started from BRF time, when we organized the Livable City, developed the mental health policy, like the history has been said, the governance structure. And I'm very happy that the current government has taken this matter up as a serious issue. Like the previous speaker said, Lagos State will continue to lead because it's a dynamic process. We think positively, we have the vision, we have the will, we have the people. In this hall are research people here from the University of Lagos, LASTMA, who actually conducted studies on mental health in this state. We have children's homes, we have remand homes. A lot of them, 70 to 80% of the inmates here have mental health issues, including children. So I think for us as a state, this is the way to go.
And the Deputy Governor, Kadri Hamzat, says the state government is expanding its mode of operation in managing health issues in Lagos.
The General Commissioner for Health has shown us data that shows clearly that a sizable percentage of Lagosians struggle with clinically diagnosable mood disorders like anxiety or depression. The menace of substance abuse is on the rise and will likely become a national epidemic if we fail to address it frontally. Before we get there, I think it's important for us as a society to understand that the biggest challenge is family breakdown. Substance abuse is linked to how we are raising our children these days. The truth is, as parents, as family, we must take care of our kids. We must know what they are doing. We must understand what are the things that they actually focus on in school and so on and so forth. The promotion of mental health and well-being and the reduction of stigma and discrimination of mental health are priorities within the state's development agenda for health, which is to ensure that every citizen has access to effective and sustainable health delivery models. We have set the groundwork for the development of sustainable mental health care program and services that will ensure improved health outcomes in the long term. This will enable the state to become one of the forerunners in the delivery of sustainable, efficient, and effective mental health services to its citizens in Lagos and, of course, in other parts of our country because of the migration input into Lagos. So our goal is to reduce significantly premature deaths through prevention and treatment and promote mental health and well-being in keeping with the Sustainable Development Goal for health.
Mental health stresses can occur at any time, and so the Lagos State Government is asking residents to detect the slightest change in behavior to call the Lagos Lifeline, speak with a therapist, or visit any of the general hospitals and get help as soon as possible.
From health to the transportation sector. This time, the Lagos State government, through the State Traffic Management Authority and the State Traffic Radio, has pledged to improve its services to residents of the state in accordance with the theme agenda of the present administration. This was echoed at the maiden edition of a stakeholders forum by both agencies.
It's the maiden edition of an engagement forum between the Lagos State Management Authority and the State Traffic Radio to help deliver better travel advisory service to the public. The Commissioner for Information, Gbenga Omotosho, senior officials from the Ministry of Transportation, LASTMA officials and other stakeholders in the transportation sector are gathered at the Eco FM Multipurpose Hall to brainstorm on how to reposition the transport agencies in Lagos State. Wearing the cap of the State Commissioner for Transportation is the Director of Transportation, Bolaon Toriola, who says government will continue to put policies in place to ensure that road users enjoy free flow of traffic.
Synergy between LASTMA and traffic radio and information dissemination traffic management is critical to the economic prosperity of our dear state and the need for renewed effort of the government to reposition the mandate of its two agencies, especially as it relates to public engagement, prompt traffic reporting, real-time information and update, which is critical for the development of the state.
While the Commissioner for Information, Gbenga Omotosho, describes the forum as a platform for rebuilding the agencies,
I must state here that the establishment of both agencies is a strategic intervention for traffic decongestion. The birth of LASTMA in the year 2000 has served in managing the chaotic traffic that characterized Lagos in the 70s to 2000. I give you kudos for all that you do. I mean, the two organizations, Traffic Radio and LASTMA. Is it time for us to declare victory? No, I dare say. Are we getting results? Sure we are. People complain about slow traffic in Lagos. They say we are doing roads, too many roads at the same time. Well, they are right. But all I want to tell them is that the gains that we are going to get from these roads today, the pains of today, it will be forgotten when we get all the gains. The federal government is doing roads, and Lagos State government is also doing roads. And in that kind of situation, we will have the kind of problems that we are having, and people complaining all of the time. All I would like to tell Lagosians is that they should be patient. At the end of the day, we will all see the rewards of all these roadworks.
And the General Manager of the Lagos Traffic Radio, as well as the General Manager of LASTMA, who was represented by the Director of Operations, Peter Emmanuel, reiterates the agency's commitment to provide adequate travel advisory to motorists and road users irrespective of their location in the state.
The objectives of these engagements, whose theme is the positioning of traffic information agencies for better performance, include the need to interrogate the process that is bringing forth traffic information, to come up with practical solutions to challenges therein, and ultimately improve the service delivery while adding value to motorists, commuters in Lagos. We strongly believe that the implication of the outcomes of this engagement will not only contribute to achieving the greater Lagos vision of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration, but also that of traffic management and transportation pillar of the theme's agenda.
We shall fulfill to the best of our ability in conjunction with the other sister government agencies involved in moving Lagos traffic forward. Efforts should be geared towards sustaining alignment and advocacy for voluntary compliance to the traffic rules and regulations by the road users, as enshrined in the State Traffic Reform Law of 2018 and as published in the Lagos State of Nigeria Official Gazette number 12, volume 51, Ikeja, 23rd March 2018.
The event was rounded off with the presentation of awards to the 2021 Outstanding Officers in the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and the Lagos Traffic Radio.
And this is where we call it today on the program Dateline Lagos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balugum. Until next time, do remember to always stay safe.